welcome to episode 6. My name is Ryan. This is my co-host Marlee, who's also my girlfriend's sister. I was about to say my sister's girlfriend. And welcome to episode 6, Out of Bounds. Woo!
Woohoo! Thank you for
Woo
doing
pig!
that
Woo
because
pig!
I don't know what that is, but I was going to say thank you for doing that because we otherwise would have forgotten to introduce this as we
Because you've
typically
been
do.
because you've been slacking.
No, I haven't been
Uh.
slacking. I'm going to need you though to not burp when I'm speaking because it makes the editing process very tedious.
Okay.
It was a big week for me personally. I started a job, which is why I've been slacking. But
Whoa, good for you.
thank you. Thank you so much. But beyond that, the NHL season began.
And the Habs shutout win against the Leafs.
Yeah, what was it? So the Habs shut out the Leafs 1-0 for the first time, and the Leafs were shut out for the first time in 252 games. That's regular season and playoffs. They haven't been shut out, I think it was since November 2021.
Montem Goat.
I saw a tweet that is like classic where it was like the caption is Montembeau on a random Wednesday in October, but the picture is Carey Price. Hey, I'm gonna need you to stop eating.
But they're so tasty.
What are you eating?
Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips.
Oh my God, I grew up on those. Shout out to the Tuck Shack at the Y Country Camp.
That's the shit right there. But yeah, that's like the one thing I saw. But I have seen those memes where it's like these guys like on a rant. Yeah, like I
On
saw
a
one where it was
random
like
night.
Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson on a random like October Sunday, and it's like a picture of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Yep. Um, but other than that, like I'm just so fucking hyped that hockey's back, okay? Because listen, I love football, but football is, Thursday night, Sunday, all day, and then Monday night. That's it. There's a hockey game on every night, whether it's your team or not. There's except for usually Sundays because they don't even want to. They don't want to compete with the NHL, the NFL. I don't blame them. But like every fucking night, you turn on the TV, you turn on Sportsnet, you got a game, and I live for that. All I want is for there to be a constant feed of hockey in the background.
I think before we jump into all your big NHL spiel, we do a quick little NFL recap.
Of course, I mean, still two teams undefeated, Chiefs and Vikings.
hmm Well, I don't really give a fuck about that.
No, I
Let's just
know,
dive
but
into.
there are people who do care about that, like all
Yeah,
the
sure, your turn.
Swifties.
Your turn to talk. Yeah, your turn.
Get fucked. All the Swifties are like, oh my God.
Did you
One
say
of
get
Taylor's.
fucked?
Yeah, I did say that.
You are disgusting.
Shut up. It doesn't mean it like, it doesn't, it's not literal.
I know, but like still, like I'm a man of God.
No, you're not. You literally asked me last week if Rosh Hashanah and which one was which, Rosh Hashanah and or Passover.
Okay, anyways, moving on. So, quick little recap. We had a fun week 5 of the NFL. We had some really fun games. I mean, I'm gonna talk about the ones that I thought were fun
Wait,
because I
you
don't.
cut me off before. I wasn't even finished when I was talking about the Swifties freaking out about what's his name?
Oh, being
Taylor Swift's backup dancer's brother catching an interception that was like maybe meant for Travis,
Kalen
something like that.
Saunders. It
Yeah.
wasn't meant for Travis. But yeah, no, it was a so basically the whole part of it was Kalen Saunders, so the guy whose brother is her backup dancer. He stopped Travis Kelsey at the goal line basically, and then they went for it, and then he threw it to Juju Smith-Schuster, who bobbled it, and then he ended up picking it off. That's the whole spiel. Anyways,
While Taylor was in the building. Anyways, week
anyways,
5 of the NFL. Go
yep,
off,
I'm gonna
Ryan.
do a quick little recap. There's some games that I'm gonna leave aforementioned. Cowboys and Steelers, I'm not gonna talk about. I just thought
Do
it
you
was
know
a
what aforementioned means?
yeah, it's like before, like aforementioned thing, like the thing that was
No, it
mentioned
would mean
before.
like I just spoke about this. The aforementioned, so it would be like, oh, the aforementioned Chiefs Saints game.
Yeah, okay, fine. The aforementioned Chiefs Saints game, I
Okay,
don't care to
also,
speak
I don't know
about.
why you're saying it so weird. It's not afor, it's just aforementioned.
But when you say it quickly, it's aforementioned. Anyways, I don't care to talk about that game. Obviously, the Chiefs won. Saints were never that legit. Cowboys Steelers, wasn't a fan of that game. Dak didn't play well. Steelers didn't play well. It wasn't a fun game to watch, in my opinion. Packers Rams was all right. It started off very shaky for the Packers, but they ended up coming back and they ended up getting themselves a nice little win. The Giants hand the Seahawks their second loss of the season in what I thought was a great game. I mean, blocked kick on a game-tying field goal, Cribbit for six was awesome. My Denver Broncos with officially the number three best defense in the league. Officially, I was capping last week when I said they were number one. They are officially number three. Riley Moss, the white corner, who has been aforementioned many times, becomes the
This is
first.
week 3 of you talking about white cornerback
Anyway,
Riley Moss.
he becomes the first white corner in the NFL in the past 25 years to record a pick in an NFL game.
Okay.
So that was a crazy game, and the Broncos absolutely steampiled the Raiders. Then Cardinals beat the 49ers. Another loss for the 49ers due to their coach's lack of a scrotum and or testicles because Kyle Shanahan's a pussy. He's a pussy. And it's the second game in a row that they lose because he calls the game like a pussy. Um, Speaking of coaches that are pussies, the Bengals dropped the 1-4 in an absolute barn burner of a game between the Ravens because Zach Taylor is
I
also a
was
man
annoyed.
that lacks testicles and a ball sack because like what I don't understand is he ran the ball three times in a row in overtime when his franchise quarterback was absolutely killing them, like killing them all day, like taking their lunch money and just eating them alive. Joe Burrow was going crazy and he wasn't given the opportunity to try and force the win or at least like get the fact that he ran the ball three times in a row and settled for a 53-yard game-winning field goal is fucking bonkers. But what you live and you learn. But the Bengals looked real nice. So did the Ravens. Browns Commanders, that was another shit game, but Jaden Daniels, man, still riding that high horse, making a real statement early on in his NFL career for Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. Bills Texans, I mean, I watched most of that game, but it was really just terrible. Bears Panthers, I watched a little bit of that game, but I mean, Bears stomped them. Dolphins Pats, that was one of the worst games I've seen this year. That was right up there with Dolphins Titans last week. And then Colts Jags in a crazy game with Joe Flacco leading the charge, almost bringing him back and winning it, but the Jaguars pulled away. Vikings beat the Jets and
Wasn't that the Jags' first win of the year?
yeah, yeah, but it was a great game. Jets Vikings was an awful one. The Vikings just kind of manhandled them all day. And then obviously Thursday night football, which I mean, I think was probably the game of the week, right up there with Bengals and Ravens. Those two games are probably the best games we've had all season long so far, in a divisional matchup, and it was an absolute smoke show. And both teams were just firing on all cylinders. Baker looked great, Kirk looked great. The only person that didn't look great is fucking Bijan, sadly. Um,
Speaking of Kirk, I
yeah,
picked him up this week. And I wanted to
okay.
talk about that because I have in one of my leagues, I have Mahomes and then the Chiefs defense, and obviously they have a bye week. So
Hmm.
I picked up Kirk Cousins and the Houston defense. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Houston plays the Pats and Kirko plays the Panthers. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know if you're gonna get a huge game out of Kirk because Panthers just aren't good all around, so they might just run the ball on them a lot. But I mean, it'll be all right. I'll tell you this, he'll be about as good or maybe better than Mahomes has been this season in fantasy because he's been terrible. Um, but yeah, that was my quick little spiel for last week. Obviously, there's some things that I'm gonna continue because I have been really liking doing like my little quick top five fantasy players of the week. And I won't do predictions for this week. I'll just give like games that I think are gonna be really fun. And then what I thought would be a good thing to like start now, um, which obviously I talk about it all the time, but what everybody needs to understand is like I'm a pussy and like it's not like I have the funds to sufficiently support a gambling
Not
addiction.
you literally like verbatim saying what your girlfriend and my sister said was like, Ryan, you can't keep promoting betting.
But here's the
You
thing,
don't
here's the
even
thing, here's
have
the
enough
thing.
money
Mm.
for it.
Here's the thing. I've spent it's been 5 weeks at the NFL. I have spent probably $45 in bets and I've won about 390 bucks. So it's not like I'm betting what I can't afford. I only bet what I can afford. I do little small little trinket bets, and if they hit, I make a nice little chunk of change. But what I figured I would do is I would start doing at least is I would start giving my three locks of the week for betting, but we'll get to that later. Maybe I'll do that at the end after your
Yeah.
NHL spiel. So what I wanted to talk about quickly is games of the week for this coming week. I think tonight's game is going to be crazy with the Niners and Seahawks. I think it's going to be a really fun game. I think who else? It's a really weird one. I think Lamar and the Ravens versus Jaden Daniels and the Commanders can end up being really fun. Lions Cowboys, I think is going to be a great game. And then other than that, I mean, we're starting to get into the bye weeks in the NFL. Obviously, they started last week, but this week is definitely a bigger one. So the games are a little all over the place, but I think week 7 is definitely a better slate of games. And then quickly into my little fantasy football spiel before we jump into some NHL news, a little bit of NBA news. Um,
Did your teams win last week? Because both of mine lost. Both of my
um,
fantasy football teams lost.
both of mine lost as well. But hey, the Broncos keep winning. I honestly think, real quick, chip break, because they're so damn good.
Like, are you kidding
Mm,
me right now with this girl?
I don't know. But
She's gorgeous.
what I really think is God is punishing me because he knows I shouldn't have it both ways because otherwise I would become a dickhead or a narcissist. Like I feel like
If
this
you
is him.
had money, I don't
No, no, no.
understand.
Like if both of my fantasy teams were undefeated and the
Oh,
Broncos were playing like how they're playing right now, I feel like he would know that like I would be too happy. So he's trying to keep me in like the perfect range between happiness and depression. So like my fantasy teams aren't doing well, but hey, the Broncos are playing really well. So at least there's that, and I'm not totally suicidal. But yeah.
don't let
Anyways,
the don't let the seasonal depression get you. Jeez.
anyways, looking at fantasy this week, biggest like must starts for quarterbacks. I mean, look, quarterbacks are you kind of always have to start all of them, especially if they're good. But Lamar, Josh Allen, Jane Daniels, those three should be obvious. Um, I think one guy that flies a little under the radar in comparison to the rest that I think is going to have a big time week is Kyler Murray against the Green Bay Packers. I think they're going to be nuts. And then a guy that's been playing really well that I think is going to have a down week is Jared Goff against the Dallas Cowboys, just because
Yeah,
they're going to run the ball a lot. So if you have the Lions running backs, I would be pretty stoked about that.
I don't know if I
Um,
do.
I don't think you do. Anyways, moving on to running backs. Who do I think are going to be the top running backs this week? I mean, I really like Saquon this week. I always like Derrick Henry basically every single week that he's available because he's disgusting. And I always keep rolling over on Bijan, but I do think this is going to be Bijan's big breakout week against the Carolina Panthers and a garbage run defense. I think one guy that's going to disappoint people is probably going to be Kenneth Walker against the Niners, just because it's a tough defense for him to go up against. And then a guy that flows a little bit under the radar, that I think is going to have a big time week is going to be Tony Pollard against the Indianapolis Colts, who just got gashed by Tank Bigsby. So I like Pollard. And then finally, we only got receivers and tight ends left. I'll do tight ends. Receivers, who do I like this week? I like CeeDee Lamb against the Detroit Lions defense. I obviously like Jamar Chase. If Neighbors plays, I do like Neighbors. If he doesn't play, I would probably say like a guy like Stephon Diggs or Drake London, a guy that flows under the radar that I like a lot this week. Darnell Mooney, I think he's just going to roll over what he did last week and put up some big numbers again. And a guy that I would probably fade this week is Devontae Smith against the Cleveland Browns, just because their defense has been all right. And if their offense can kind of get clicking a little bit against a garbage Eagles team, then who knows? And then finally, we have tight ends. Tight ends, biggest ones I think this week are going to be Trey McBride for the Arizona Cardinals, Jake Ferguson for the Dallas Cowboys, and I mean, hard to bet against Kittle.
I got
Um,
Kittle in a league. Let's go.
Hard to bet against that, man. One guy that I think is going to disappoint a lot of people this week is Tucker Kraft. I think he had a massive week last week, and a lot of people are going to think that he happened last week, so it's going to happen again. I don't think it's going to happen again. I think he's going to have a nice little falling from grace. And then biggest booms of the week for tight end, guys that fly under the radar. Um, if he plays, I really like Njoku. If he plays, I really like Ingram, but assuming that both of them don't play. Um, I do like Cole Kmet against Jacksonville, and I do like Kyle Pitts against Carolina, and that about wraps up my little fantasy spiel. We could also talk a little bit about college football if you want. There's like only one player that's really noteworthy right now,
Who?
Ashton Jinty. Boise State running back Ashton Genty, who in
We
five
talked about him
games,
a bit last week, I think.
oh yeah, but I think we should start talking about him more because in 5 games he has 95 carries, over 1,000 yards, and he has 16 total touchdowns. Which, by the way, through anyone's first 5 games in college football history, this is the best start anybody's ever had. I mean, he's closing in on basically every single rushing record you can think of in college football, and
Isn't
he's
he
a
a
dog.
freshman?
I think he's a junior.
Oh, okay. Well, I know
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh, yeah. No, I think
Um,
he's a junior, and this week they play the University of Hawaii.
I don't think you can say that.
Whatever. He's playing the Hawaii. I think they're called the Rainbow Warriors, but that also could be wrong, and I can get canceled.
Imagine being on the team, being like, "Yeah, I'm a Rainbow Warrior." They'd be like, "Are you? Are you a friend of Dorothy?
The
Are
fuck is a
you?"
Dorothy?
Oh my God, it was like a thing like in the 50s when people couldn't be like, "Yeah, I'm homo," because
Oh,
they'd
they'd
get
say
killed.
Dorothy. They'd say Dorothy from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, I'm a friend of Dorothy," and that was like
You know why that
under.
makes no sense? Because it wasn't the rainbow brick road, it was the yellow brick road, you stupid dummy.
No, it's not about the fucking movie. It was just a saying to be like low key and be like, "Are you a friend of Dorothy?" And they'd be like, if they said no, who's Dorothy? You'd know, like, we don't talk to them. But if they're like, you'd be like,
Are you a friend
now,
of
and
Dorothy?
of course, but now it's like you say so many different things. You're like, do you listen to Girl in Red? Uh, I don't know what the boys say. I think
What
they
the
just
fuck is
like go
Girl in
on.
Red?
It's like a lesbian singer, but I don't even like her. No offense to
Isn't
her.
that isn't that just Chapel Roan?
No, she like predates Chapel Roan. I don't know what the gay boys say though. I think they just go on Grinder and are like, you're like 0.0001 feet away from me. Like, let's fuck.
Okay, first of all, don't demean the boys, because
I
girls are
love
just.
the gay boys. It's just like very different culture. The gay boys, like,
Well, it's different culture because the gay boys are very feminine, and all the gay
not
women are
necessarily.
some of them, and all the gay women, from my experience, are basically dudes.
Not necessarily. Like the gay boys are like they touch their dicks together within 5 minutes, and the gay girls like
Oh, okay.
cuddle and like move in together and like tell each other all their feelings and all their trauma.
And then they biscuit bump,
Biscuit bump. What was the other thing you said before? Bump
clam, bumping
clams.
clams, tossing salads.
That's anyone toss. You can toss anyone's salad. That's not gender specific.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know all the terms. I'm just a little boy. I'm just a little boy who's scared and wants my mommy. Yeah, that's kind of all I want to talk about. Ryan specific. I'm gonna save the little betting corner for after your little NHL spiel. Do you want me to do a quick little NBA spiel? Because there isn't
No.
a lot. I'm gonna do it anyways.
Well, can I
Okay.
do NHL first, please?
No, because I feel like you're
Because
gonna
there
go.
are definitely people who have been listening are like, okay, is he done yet? Like, can we
Well,
hear?
he's not done.
Okay, well, he's gonna return later. Because I just like I love hockey so much. Like you see it. My
Okay, yeah.
boys showed up last night, and it's like
I'm
you
gonna be
can't get
eating chips the whole time, by the way.
just like try not to chew too loudly. So like I can't get too crazy like first game of the season being like, oh, it's the year. I'm not a Leafs fan. I don't think it's the year every year.
Dog, it's our year. We're Cowboys fans. It's our year. Our year every year.
Exactly. Cowboys, Leafs, like who else? Like all the crazy people with their stupid teams that never win. Shout out Corey. She's a fan of the Leafs and the Cowboys. Um,
See, it's weird because I don't want to loop us in there, but I do feel like Lakers fans are kind of the same way.
yeah, but I think you've had more success. Like, and also you have the goat on your team. Like, there's more of a chance. Like, not to say that like no, Austin Matthews is not the goat yet. Not even close. Anyway, but the Habs did look pretty decent last night. Like, they did you watch the game?
Who scored for them?
My man, number 13, Cole Caulfield. But the Habs did look good last night. Like Lane Hudson looked great.
Who's that? The defenseman?
The rookie defenseman who I think is going to win the Calder. It was
Who's
just
that?
good.
Was Calder Rookie of the Year?
Yes.
Hmm.
Keep up. I told you this last week.
Dog, but I don't listen.
I know. They looked good. They scored a power. Their one goal. There was a 1-0 game. They scored a power play goal. They held. Montembeau saved all 48 shots he faced to set the record for the most stops in a season opening shutout in the NHL, in all NHL history.
And
48.
I'm pretty sure that was his first NFL NHL shutout too, no?
I'm not sure.
Pretty sure I saw that.
It's very possible. Like, no offense to him. I've never been super high on him. He's not amazing. But that's why they said that he looks like Carey Price on a random Wednesday in October. There were actually like three shutouts just last night, which I thought was pretty wild. The Rangers shut out the Penguins 6-0. And the worst one, I was watching this game. So basically last night I turned on the Oilers Jets game. It's 0-0. Okay, then the Jets score, it's 1-0. Then I go take Phoebe out on her last walk of the night around 11:15 because obviously it's a
Nice.
West Coast game. Come back, it's 5-0 for the Jets. And they pulled Stuart Skinner out of the net and put Calvin Pickard. And
Whoa.
so basically, last year's second best team, finalists in the Stanley Cup final. Obviously, they lost in the final, game seven, whatever. I don't need to relive it. I just watched the Prime series last week and cried and relived it.
Uh-huh.
But they get absolutely embarrassed on their home opener against the Jets. 6-0 loss.
Oh, you're talking about the Oilers.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. All right.
like bad.
That's rough.
What else? I mean, the Canucks tied their game up, but then lost in OT 6-5 to the Flames.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not going to go through all the games like you do for the NFL because there's too many games every week.
Yeah, to go through like the noteworthy ones, that's all.
Yeah, like I mean, Utah wins their first game in franchise history. They look pretty decent, but again, of course they did because they're just the Arizona Coyotes who have had so many high draft picks in the last 5 years that have are finally arrived. Like Dylan Gunther scored their first goal in franchise history. He's like was picked ninth overall 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So like of course he's good. So like you have all these guys that are like arriving, like Logan Cooley's on that team. Like then they got Sergachev in the off season. Like
I've never heard of any of these guys. The only guy I know on their team is Clayton Keller.
yeah, he was just
Yeah.
named captain.
Yeah, I knew that.
Um,
I do have NHL 25. Like I could read.
why do you have it and I don't have it? I want it.
You don't have like a device.
I have a PS4.
Then get it. I don't.
It's like $60.
It was like 80 something. Just wait till it goes. Oh yeah, you're on PlayStation. I don't know, dude. Just ask for your birthday
My birthday's in May.
or just get it yourself.
I have another mouth to feed now. I can't be shopping willy-nilly for video games.
Was
I don't,
that's your whole NHL spiel? Like you're
no,
done?
like, no. I have a few like games to watch. Let me just pull up because I'll be able to tell you right off the bat. Like I know today the Leafs are playing the Devils, which is a good
Whoa.
game because the Devils coach is Sheldon Keefe, who just coached the Leafs the last few years. Like,
Dude, no.
so it's like that's a fun matchup.
What a
I mean,
traitor.
no, like he got fired and then got a new job. Good for him.
Oh my God, no, why?
Because the Leafs were bad.
Fuck that dude though.
And they can't. Okay, like if you want me to go on a rant about the Leafs, I can do that. But basically, the Leafs have their core four who disappear in the playoffs and don't do anything, and they lose in the first round. And then they go, "Uh-oh, who can we fire now?" 2 years ago, it was the GM. So last year, it was the coach. And I guarantee you, this year, God willing, again, God willing, not that I'm a fucking Leafs fan, I don't care. Kyle, not Kyle Shanahan. That's a different guy. Brendan Shanahan is president of like hockey ops or whatever.
But like, do you think like at some point they're gonna trade away someone in the core? Like, I don't even know who the core
Yes,
four is. It's Mitch Marner, Matthews, Tavares.
Nylander.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be Marner. They trade away Marner, but Marner needs to waive his no trade clause to do that. Like I really think like he'll be gone by the deadline, but he has to waive his no trade clause. But also he wouldn't be gone by the deadline if they're like a contender. Like maybe he's gone in the off season. But again, he'd have to waive his no trade clause to leave his like hometown team that he's was drafted to. He lives here, his whole family's here. He's never like he's a Toronto boy. He's not gonna want to do that. So I don't know what's gonna happen
Or maybe they get rid of,
because
or maybe they trade Nylander.
again, like Nylander also has a new like also their contracts are huge. And they're all on new contracts that either kick in right now or kick in next season. Like
Where
I'm
do you even think
talking
where do you even think would be the best place for him to go if he did get traded?
Marner,
Yeah.
um, Pittsburgh, reunite with Kyle Dubas.
No
Like,
No Montreal.
no. I don't like, no offense, I don't want him.
I don't even know really who's like a good hockey player anymore.
I mean,
I'm stuck in the old days.
Austin Matthews is good.
Yeah, but he's a pussy.
He is a big four-headed pussy.
And he has a pedo stash.
Yeah. I hate that you say pedo.
Pedo
Like,
stash,
are
whatever.
you British?
He has a pedo stash.
Whatever. Um, McDavid's good.
That didn't mean I wanted a list of all the good players. I was
Okay.
just
Anyway, back to what I was saying was games to watch this week. The Habs play the Bruins tonight.
Ooh.
Love. Always a good original six matchup. Pittsburgh and Detroit, that's always, to me, that's always a good matchup. Like, reminds me of those days where they were in the finals against each other, like 08, 09. The Dallas Stars play the Nashville Predators. That's a good division matchup. Like, and they're both solid as fuck teams.
Do the Dallas
Uh,
Stars just still have like Tyler Seguin and fucking Jamie
mhm.
Benn?
Yep.
Jesus, those guys are old.
I mean, not that old, but like, yeah. Tomorrow, the Lightning play the Hurricanes, which is
Whoa.
very topical considering,
Miami's currently not Miami, but the Florida area is getting
Tampa.
absolutely
Tampa's
abs
absolutely underwater.
they're getting absolutely smacked around by fucking Milton right now.
Yeah. Helene left and now they got Milton. But how funny is it the Lightning play the Hurricanes? That's hilarious.
There's also another one apparently coming.
Yeah, I mean, global warming's crazy. I don't know. Climate change, whatever the fuck you want to call
Mother
it.
Nature is just fucking dropping deuces right now. She said, "Hey, y'all thought this was a fucking game? Here's three category 5 hurricanes back to back to back for your ass."
Yeah.
Also, the funniest part is she's only sending them to Florida.
Hey, because that's how weather systems work,
But
Ryan.
she's also like, where is the highest density like the densest population of people that are like stupid?
You can't call out everyone from Florida.
Just the West Coast. The West Coast into the Everglades.
You don't know where the Everglades is. You're thinking of the Panhandle, which I agree. The Florida Panhandle is fucking nuts. It's like a
It's,
lawless land.
it's just a bunch of like literally.
It's Hicks.
So like the only place I've ever been to in Florida is like the East Coast. You know what I mean? But like
Same.
when I think of the
No,
West
I've been to
Coast,
Naples, but yeah,
all right, yeah, cool. I was still talking. When I think about the West Coast of Florida, all I think about is like those memes where it's like, on this date, a Florida man did this. That is the West Coast of Florida. Just a bunch of like crazy people hopped up off like coffee and drugs and fucking
it's
no
not
gun.
coffee. It's not coffee. It's Monster Energy or
Yeah,
some shit
sorry,
or Four
whatever.
Loco
Four Loko is probably more realistic, but they're all hopped up off Four Loko and probably crack.
crack.
Yeah, or bath salts, running around the Everglades like fucking eating alligators and shit and
They've got a
banging.
machete and a fucking AK-47, and
Yeah,
they're just
and they're just running around like with their cousins.
fucking their cousins. Is that what you're
Yeah,
insinuating?
yes. Florida is Florida is like the absolute like
It's the
opposite ends.
dick of America. It's the
No,
dick of America, but
I'm
it
still talking, by
shows.
the way. It's the opposite ends of the spectrum pooled into one weird looking state. Like you have the East Coast where it's, I mean, douchebags and rich people and Jews. I mean, the other side,
Only some parts of the year.
and yeah, exactly. And then the other side is all hicks and rednecks and dirty inbreds and alcoholics and
Fetal
probably
alcohol syndrome
yeah,
fucks.
and probably like a bunch of other crazy other shit. And yeah, like honestly, it's like I hope everybody in Florida stays safe. And obviously, it sucks that happened. That's what's happening. But like, if those like little backwater savages can get like swept out to like Missouri, that would be, or Arkansas, where we never have to see them again, that would be
No,
top
you know
tier.
what's going to happen is they will get swept out to Arkansas, and then we're going to have another fucking situation of like a family with 19 kids because they love Jesus. Though they're from Arkansas.
Hey, but as long as they're not in Florida, I don't really care. Florida,
Okay.
the only states that I plan on going to ever again in the States is Florida, California, New York.
Bro, same. But I do know, I don't want to say that. Like, there
Because
are some fun
I have
places.
family in those three states. No, no, like there's obviously like I love Boston. New Orleans, I've
I've been
always
to Boston one time. I loved
Boston's
Boston.
awesome. And I've always wanted to go to New Orleans and like there's a couple other states that I've always wanted to go to. I've always wanted to go to Tennessee. I've always wanted to go to Texas. But like anywhere in like the
You'll never
Midwest,
catch me in Texas.
I would always want to go to Texas. But
No,
anywhere in the Midwest, like I've been to Wisconsin. Wisconsin was all right. But like
I've never been.
Arkansas,
I've never even been
Arkansas,
to Chicago.
Arkansas, I would love to go to Chicago too. Chicago and Pennsylvania. But then like Arkansas, like Missouri, either of the Dakotas, Idaho, it like all that shit can
Either
fuck
of
up.
the Dakotas, either of the Virginias, they can get fucked. I don't want them.
Iowa, like fuck off.
I want to go to Iowa and I
Because
want to
you're
find
gay.
Caitlin Clark and I
Because
want
you're
to say,
gay.
Caitlin, please dump your boyfriend.
Yo, Gaylord, she lives in Indiana.
She's currently in Iowa for sure. Her family's still there. She's an Iowa gal.
And it's also like it's not like she got paid enough to like actually move.
No, but think about the amount she gets paid is perfect to live in Iowa or in Indiana.
Yeah, because
With
she gets
those
paid like
salaries, you can't live in LA or New York.
she gets paid like $48,000 a year. She's probably the richest person in the state.
No, unfortunately, probably not.
No,
But
but look,
anyway,
but yeah, but like in terms of that, I mean the contracts there will change soon. She's definitely
yeah,
pushing them in the right direction. Also,
absolutely.
w real quick before we like move on into some other shit that isn't hockey, which I can't wait for. What are your predictions for the WNBA finals? The
Um,
Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty.
New York Liberty. I mean, they're ridiculous. Sabrina, Stewie, how can you count them out? And they were in the finals last year and lost. They're back with a vengeance. Like easy, easy pick.
Yeah, yo, Stewie's a dog.
She's so good. That she plays for my team. She's a les.
Oh. Hey, Sabrina's good too, and she's married to this big fat guy that plays for the Raiders.
Yeah.
She's good too, though. She's hot.
Okay, but I'm just like
See,
team
that's the thing.
lesbian. Team
That's the thing.
lesbian would like if there was like, hey, you know how like in All-Star games there's like
If you
East
took the
versus
straight girls,
West.
yes,
If
yes,
you
yes, yes,
did
yes.
lesbians versus the straights, the lesbians would win every time.
Okay, fine. But like also like riddle me this about the WNBA. Why are none of the lesbian basketball players attractive?
That's so rude and untrue. I think Sue Bird is like cute as hell.
No.
Nice Jewish girl from New York. Come on.
Asia Wilson is just bad. Caitlin's got that little like cute like princessy girl type
First of all,
vibes.
have you seen Nika Mule?
Yeah. Oh no. Really? What do you,
Unclear, but
yeah,
like
okay, so 100% not true for now.
for now, but
Until
like
it's proven otherwise. But
oh, she's so hot.
Sabrina two's attractive.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Paige Becker's she's a child. We're not talking about Paige Becker. She's literally a
But
child.
like as much as I drag on her, like Angel Reese is like
No,
I mean her
I think we're forgetting like one of the most attractive WNBA players, which is like
Skylar Diggins.
no, Cameron Brink.
Straight.
I know she's straight. She just got engaged to a man, but like
Skylar Diggins too. Skylar Diggins too. I'm pretty sure she's straight. So
I'm
yeah,
saying
sure.
that there
You
are attractive lesbians. They exist.
I have yet to see one.
Renee Rapp.
We can't even say Renee Rapp because like I barely know what she looks like.
Can you please just Google what she looks like?
Uh-uh.
Please, please. I'll never shut up about her if you don't.
I'm doing it now.
Oh, she's so hot. I would die for
Lit
her. Renee Rapp,
literally.
if you're listening, I would die for you.
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah, she's pretty.
She's so hot.
I wouldn't say that, but she's
No,
pretty.
she's absolutely a fucking smoke show. When she wears her little shirts that like have her little like tummy poking out at the bottom and she's like shaking her titties around, I'm like, look up, you know what you need to watch is you need to watch her SNL performance of Not My Fault, where she's dancing with a she's wearing literally like a bralette and a jacket, and she's just like, you know, I lost it. Like what is it like spontaneous combustion? Like I flames.
Like I literally hated everything about that. Was that all your NHL spiel? I can get into some basketball's gonna be real quick. I just wanted them to announce a trade. Everybody saw it, but
I didn't see it. I don't know what you're trying to say, but you're probably gonna name two names I've never heard of in my life.
all right. Well, biggest news so far, basketball. First off, There's a very similar to the NFL quarterback show and receiver show. There is a basketball show on Netflix now called Starting Five, which features LeBron, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Domantas Sabonis, and I think Kyrie or Bronny, like one or the other. I don't know.
There was also a hockey show that just came out on Prime last week, and I'm like pissed off about it because it wasn't it I could talk for hours. I was in the meeting when they said, guys, we're thinking of doing a show like the quarterback, like Drive to Survive, like who should we focus on? Like I was in that meeting and I said that would be great. You should take four guys. You should take like one goalie, three players, follow them for the entire season. Especially considering the goal of that show is to get people who are not hockey fans into hockey.
Oh.
And they just absolutely fucked that up because they had like a second of the season and then they were right into the playoffs. And they used to have a series on YouTube called Quest for the Cup, which was amazing. It followed the entire playoffs, every team, like as it whittled down. And it was such a good series. And it was on YouTube in Canada and then like ESPN Plus in the States. And basically they took that series and like fucking fucked it. They fucking blew it up. They made it shit. And they put it on Prime and I'm mad about it. But anyway, starting five.
Hey, you killed it.
Thank you.
So yeah, they came out with that show. And then moments after, Blockbuster trade was announced, wherein a three-team trade occurred between the Pelicans, Bulls, and Lakers. And in that trade, the Lakers received Zach LaVine and rookie Antonio Reeves. They basically gave up like fucking five players for that one dude. But yeah, so it was a big trade. Zach LaVine ended up on the Lakers. The Bulls ended up getting D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, and I think like two picks. And then the Pelicans got Rui Hashimura, Chris Duarte, Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, pick, blah 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 blah. Those are in the
Jackson
right.
Hayes sounds like a boy band pop star, like a male pop star.
Okay, that was cool. Yeah, so that's the trade that happened. Um, yeah, so that was about it for the NBA. But the starting five show does look very interesting, and I am excited to watch that. I have to watch Outer Banks first.
Gay?
Yeah, literally.
Is Lindsay making you do that?
No,
Oh, that's like extra gay then. What the fuck is wrong with
I've
you?
watched it all myself. Now I'm just dialed in.
Nerd,
I'm gonna
gay
watch that
nerd.
tonight. Now we're gonna get into my little betting corner, which is gonna be the lives. No, not the lives. What am I talking about? The locks of the week. Lives. The fuck am I doing? I'm gonna steer clear of tonight's game because it's tonight. I'm just gonna look strictly at Monday. I'm not a big like believer in like spreads and money lines and stuff like that, and that's probably why I don't win like $1 billion whenever I bet. I go like low risk ish sometimes. Sometimes I shoot for the stars. I'm gonna give everybody a four leg touchdown parlay that I think is gonna hit this week. So I'm looking at all the games. Basically, I mean, you want to look at trends. Trends are definitely a good indicator. And just go with your gut, I would say, and like go based off the matchup. So first off, I'm going right to that Detroit Lions game against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs to both score a touchdown because they're both really good running backs. Dallas Cowboys run defense is terrible. I'm taking both of them. And then moving on, I'm going to that Commanders Ravens game. I'm taking Derrick Henry to score a touchdown. Dink. And moving on to do I do? Yeah, let's do this one. I'm gonna go to the Cardinals Packers game. I'm gonna take James Conner to score. I think he's been held out of the end zone for I think 2 weeks in a row now. That's bound to change. And I'm gonna throw in one more for this, and I'm gonna throw in Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. If you put $10 into a bet like this, for example, it'd be a $131 return. And
Cool.
these Shut up. And I think these are all like big time hitters. Obviously, you can swip and swap and do whatever you want. You can throw some money lines in there if you want. If you wanted to spice things up, for example, I would like go through the locks. I would take, you know what I mean? I would take the Cardinals over the Packers. I would take the Eagles over the Browns. I would take the Ravens over the Commanders, and then Lions over Cowboys. And then look at that. Our 10 is now worth 560 beans. Uh
Cool.
Anyways, I'm not telling people that they have to go bet like I have in the past. I am being a good boy. All I'm saying is if you're gonna bet, you don't always have to shoot for the stars and do all these $20,000 bets and betting $800 even though your paycheck is five. Like just bet what you can afford. But if you are in fantasy leagues, what I would consult people to do, I just saw this on Instagram last week and it was awesome. Shut up, you're gonna like this. It was this league where every single week, the person who puts up the least amount of points has to go put in a 12 leg parlay with for $5. All right. So like you would basically, if you come in last in the league in terms of points for that week, you would back the league on a $5 bet. And there was a league that did it and they turned $10 into 20,000. And the guy that came in last that week wasn't able to get any of the money because he was last.
I'd kill myself.
But like, it's
So he
like,
has to put the $10 in, but then he doesn't get the return.
huh?
No, that's
He put the $10 in because he was last that week. Um, and then everybody like submitted like what they wanted like as their leg. Everybody in the league like gave him a pick, and they ended up turning that 10 into 20 grand. How fucked is that? Like I would kill somebody for 20 grand. Not really, but like I'd do something. I'd probably do like tax fraud for 20 grand.
that's not no. Committing a crime and only getting 20 grand, that's not enough of a return. You
I'd
commit
suck
a
a dick. I'd
crime for
suck a dick for 20
millions.
grand. I'd suck a dick for
Okay,
20
yeah,
grand.
but that's not a crime. That's just like not your preference.
How much would somebody have to pay you to suck a dick?
I mean, I did it for
Realistically.
free once, but never again.
So what's the monetary value that would be associated to you doing that again?
Honestly, at this point, I would just do it for Taylor Swift tickets.
You're a disgusting human being. But hey, y'all, if you heard it here first, if you want some probably really garbage head for free, all you need to do is give her Taylor Swift tickets.
In
Uh,
Toronto, two
in Toronto,
tickets
two tickets.
in the lower bowl,
I
not
mean,
on the floor.
would you let a guy hit for VIP?
Oh, I don't know because I've never done that. And I like that like gold star moniker.
Ah, I mean, hey, I would probably let somebody I'd probably let somebody go from behind if I was getting
You'd
Sabrina
let
Carpenter
somebody
tickets.
enter you.
Not for long. Couple seconds, but like for Sabrina Carpenter tickets, yeah, probably. For VIP Sabrina Carpenter tickets where I could like go up and meet her and like maybe
But you
ask her.
can't fuck her. You are getting fucked in the ass by some
No,
guy.
but here's the thing. I would take that 20-second pain to see her after the concert and be like, so me and my girl are like we're wondering what?
Nothing. I'm just
Y-
saying, like,
Yeah, guys, heard it here first. Deliver Marlee a bag of dicks and she'll eat it for Tate McRae tickets. I mean Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Although Tate McRae is so hot when
She
she does her
really is.
dances, I'm like, whoo.
She's not into you though.
I know, but it's
I
fine.
got a better chance with Tate McRae than you do.
No, you don't, because if you were to get with Tate McRae, you would lose your dick and balls courtesy of your own girlfriend. She'd
But
cut them
no,
off.
no. This would be either with her consent or with her.
She doesn't want that. I promise you.
I don't know, because there was one time where she was like talking, I think it was like in the car, and she's like, "Oh, Tate McRae, can me and my boyfriend have a threesome?"
But she's all talk. You know, Lindsay's all
I know
talk
she's
about
all talk.
most things. About most things, she's all talk.
I know. I would never do it. I would just be like, what do you say? And when they said,
Do you have like hall passes or not even official ones, but like who would be like three celebrity hall passes?
I don't think I'm allowed a hall pass. I think she would kill me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in theory,
Oh,
like,
hypothetically,
yeah.
Tate McRae, Sabrina Carpenter, and then somebody completely different. I don't know.
Mine's Renee Rapp.
Yeah, no shit. No Taylor Swift.
No, I love Taylor Swift, but I don't want to fuck her. But okay, Renee Rapp for sure. Sophia Bush, 100%. I don't know. I don't know who a third one would be.
Oh no, mine would be yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, the other one, Tate McRae, and then either like Friends era Jennifer Aniston
Hell yeah.
or Fantastic Four Jessica Alba.
Okay.
That'd be yeah.
No,
Or
Friends era, Jennifer Aniston is,
yeah.
yeah.
She's yeah, she's top tier.
Do you just have a stroke?
No, I'm just pretending.
Like maybe I would go for Hannah Einbinder from Hacks, but I just like love her in the show. I don't know if
What the fuck is an Einbinder?
a Jew.
Yeah, no shit.
She's great. She's a great actress and she's very funny.
All right,
And she's
anyways.
like cute as fuck. Um,
Anyways.
watch hockey this week, please. I don't know why
Yeah,
I'm begging,
okay,
but like I don't know,
I
watch
think
hockey.
I think I should do the wrap ups because you're not good at that. All right, guys.
I think
That'll
you
do.
should watch hockey this week, actually. I think that should be. I'll watch college football. No, I won't. You should watch hockey.
Okay, first of
I'm gonna
all,
watch hockey and you should watch hockey
all right,
and
guys.
football.
Thank you all for tuning in to episode 6 of Out of Bounds. I've been Ryan. This has been some dickhead named Marley. We just
Some
honor
what?
some dickhead.
That's so rude.
we just wanted to remind you all that the NHL season has begun. So go and turn on that TV. Go watch some guys beating each other up on the ice. This weekend, go tune into the NFL wherever you so watch it. If it's on TSN, DAZN, don't matter. Go watch football. Go play fantasy football. Go bet on football, and go have yourself a fun time.
Go Habs, go!
I hate you.